Come here now, girl.
Hello and welcome to What's Map, your one-stop shop for everything workshop. I'm BonBonB and you're very welcome. Well, it's Tuesday, Tuesday's request day. Today's map was requested some time ago, and if it was you that requested it, I'm sorry, you're not getting a shout out because my record has gone. I'm so sorry, I feel bad now. But I don't feel bad about doing the review because while this is a snowfall map and they aren't very popular, this is that rare thing, a good snowfall map, and actually one that I think would work just as well with it not being white and it being a regular map build as well. So if you don't have snowfall, imagine it being green and we'll be good to go. But before we do any going, I have something for you. It's a daily reminder. That's right, clicking that like button really does support the channel, gets me seen by more people and helps me grow a little bit more every single day. Thank you for your support. Today's map is Asgaard by m.p.s. Yeah, m.p.s, who we've done 3 times in the past. 12, 11 and 12 stars were the 3 previous scores. Let's have a look at that start square. There we go. Looks pretty solid, I think, don't you? I think so, apart from the water, which is, well, liquid usually. Then you have terrain heights that look like that. Plenty of flat buildable space going on around the rivers. Very pretty. Resources are good and strong. We have no fertile land, which given that you might have to add your own fertile land if you're playing it as a non-snowfall map, but let's ignore that. If you do have Sunset Harbour, there is your fishing. There's lots of salmon in those rivers. And then off to the workshop. What do we need? Well, quite clearly it's snowfall. We do need that. Also, mass transit. You will need mass transit today. There's a few things to subscribe to, but not the world's longest list. And a nice little write-up as well. We'll be using the Thatcherton Frost winter theme, and given the choice of the two, the realistic 1.2 and the colourful summer day LUTs, we're going with the realistic 1.2 because it's listed first. Now, when multiple LUTs are listed, I go with whatever the top choice is. The top choice has to be the recommended LUT, correct? So that's why we've gone with that one. Colourful Summer's Day, I'm sure it's going to work really well with a winter theme. I don't know, I didn't check, but I do know that winter themes aren't necessarily the very popular ones because, well, people say that you lose detail, and I kind of get that. Well, look at this. It's just a sea of white, isn't it? It's just a sea of white. But that said, if you're going to use a winter theme, then there are about 2 or 3 really good ones, and probably the best one, the sharpest one, the crispest one, and the great one, certainly with the rocks and the cliff faces, is this Thatcherton Frost theme from Hades. So highly recommended, and a great creator. Anyway, not what to tell you about this, where roads and the rails are running more or less parallel with each other, and they are of a good standard today. There is a curiosity with today's map. I'm not saying it's not bad work, but make your own mind up here. So we have rail which is elevating gently and smoothly to get across into the middle of these 2 highways, because we've got a double bridge coming up. And the way that the bridge has been done has been quite clever. We've got, is that bridge a bit too, I haven't checked. I need to go back and check that. That bridge, that rail looked really low over that highway, didn't it? I don't know now. Let's just pretend that I didn't notice it at the time. Let's just pretend that is good. Correct? Let's do that. It's probably good. It's probably good. Certainly good at this end, without question. Yeah, the other end. Yeah, let's just yeah, it's fine. It's going to be fine at the other end. Let's just ignore that. Anyway, no, my curiosity is with that bridge. It's an unusual take of a bridge, isn't it? The way that we've having to lift the rail over the road, done smoothly, done very well, to get into the middle of the bridge to be able to do that particular style of bridge. Sort of bridge that you don't see very often, that style of bridge where you have the rail running along the middle of the highway. But in this map, it's not alone. And as you're about to see, we're going to follow the same routine again, with the rail running alongside on the right hand side here. And I understand why it's moving to the middle for the style of bridge that we're running with here. but maybe it should have been running down the middle all the time. I know it makes it harder to get the rail out to do some building with, and doing high, outside connections, not outside, city connections and stuff. But there we go. This is very cleanly done again, and it's unusual. It's different, and there's, well, the way that it's been handled, there's nothing wrong with it. It's nice. It's smooth, and it's believable. And again, the bridge over the highway there looks perfectly high enough. I think that first one was just an optical delusion on my half. Here we have, we've got a little bit of lane merging there with 4 lanes here going into a 3-way split intersection. And as noticed, we have 4 lanes going to 2 lots of 2 lanes. And that's fine. That's fine. And we have the slight glitching between the 2 highway connections with the different texture colour, but there's not really much we can do about it. But it has to be noted, doesn't it? Has to be noted. The rock work here is it's like icing sugar. I don't know about the rock work here. I mean, again, it's good. It doesn't pop for me. I can see what the intent of that area was. I can see how it was intended to actually work. And it does work. But it doesn't blow me away. I look at that and I say, do you know what? That is good. But it's not like, wow, you've got to have a look at this intersection. You've got to have a look at the rock work on this intersection. It's just kind of like, well, then they put some rocks around the outside that makes it look a bit like a cutting. But it doesn't really look enough like a cutting for me, for it to be worthy of me getting all excited about it. Now you may notice that the rail is suddenly going up in the air again for the 3rd time, heading in between the 2 highways for the same style of bridge. Now, while the first one was done well, and the second one was done well, and the 3rd one was also done well, they have all been done well, I don't think I would expect to see this 3 times. It just doesn't really work for me. Not in the multiple. On the singular, yes, it kind of does. It's unusual enough to be of note. Without it, yeah, it's not bad. It's in no way is it not good work. It just don't really get it 3 times on the same map. A little bit of variety would probably have added something there. Anyway, the rail's just going into a little tunnel there, underneath some more rocks. And then we have what is the start square intersection. Also notice, please note, very important to note this one, no trees on the roads today. No trees on the roads. I think there has to be note these days when there's no trees on the road. There's your start square. Right by the river there, nice rocky river. Plenty of good stuff going on there with the roundabouts. I think in terms of getting started, that's a good start square in terms of getting started. And then we're heading off towards the edge of the map. So we've kind of followed the road and the rail simultaneously. So we're not going to do a separate rail trip, which means we'll take that intermission. When we come back, we'll go straight into the shipping. Now, do you think with these rivers, there'll be shipping on this map? Place your bets now, and we'll be back in just a few moments.
Have you ever wanted to create a snow scene in your summer city, but you're not interested in buying the Snowfall DLC? Then you need the Beginner's Guide to Snow Without DLC by BonBonB. Click the information button now.
And so back to Asgaard by m.p.s. And the shipping routes. Yes, we have shipping routes and an essential lighthouse there. We won't be coming back to that. I've kind of forgot it was there, actually. It does its job, I guess. Sort of. Yeah, shipping route goes up the middle of the river. I have no problem with that. And this bridge, I think, is probably just high enough for the vanilla cruiser to get underneath. But I probably would recommend custom shipping on a river because the vanilla stuff's just too big, really. And it ends up at the dock there, which I think is quite nicely done as well. Water flow through the start square. We have rivers, and they are working rivers, and there's strong water flow through here, and I think they're certainly deep enough as well. So I think you've got enough water to handle your start city build. I've got no problem with that at all. So a water flow on a snow map, yeah, good. Right, so what have we got overall? We've got a map with some interesting mountains and plenty of flat buildable space around. Have a look there. Can you imagine building on that? Can you imagine that being green as well? If you were to switch to a non-snowfall theme, I think that would be good to go too. Nice shaped lake up here, being fed by a nice river up here. In fact, we've got some great rock work on these rivers. Have a look at the rock work there. And I think again, certainly with the Batchelton Frost rocky theme as well, this looks stunning. There are some very nice 5-star visual effect areas on this map. There's no question. There are also some very plain, just snow and more snow areas as well. So yeah, but that said, there are some exceptional areas. That one was right out on the edge of the map. Let's come out to the middle of the map a bit. Have a little look at this. Does that water look cold to you? I think it looks cold to me. I'm not putting my toes in it. Again, great rock work on the rivers. Where there is rock work on the rivers, we've even got a little bit of river reeds going on there. A little bit of detailing here and there as well, just to bring the edges. A little bit of tiering going on there as well, making it easier to get up into the hills. That's nice work as well. Like to see that without it being too obvious. We don't want it too obvious. And then we've got some nice mountains over here as well. Some really nice shapes of these mountains too, and really quite prominent and rugged. I like all of this. It's actually a very nice map indeed. If we head over this way, we have got so we've got that intersection which doesn't do anything for me, I'm afraid. There we have the little harbour area down here, which we know we have shipping coming into here, and we got rock work right by there which is just like dribbling out. So just be careful with the ships. Just be careful with the ships there. Make sure they don't go the wrong way up that river. It's really nice. And then we have a start square. Now, today's asset is going to be a little bit snowbound, so I have to apologise for that one. Because the snow does accumulate on top of the assets, and it makes them a little bit harder to see. But this is the Historical Chinese Residence Pack by RyanCat. It's a shame about the snow on the roofs, because one of the best things about this asset pack is the roof textures. They just look so cute. So cute. But sadly, we don't have that today. But let's have a look at the factoid of the day. Factoids, because factoids. Spiders' webs are traditionally a natural clotting agent. If applied to a cut, they are meant to stop the flow of the blood and help it to heal quickly. So don't throw those spiders' webs away when you're dusting, ladies and gentlemen, of course. Gentlemen can hold a duster too, so they tell me. Not that I know. What is this duster that you speak of? But yes, they're, just collect them up, stick them in a little bowl, and sell them to some sort of like witch doctor, and you're good to go. Anyway, speaking of doctors, there's a doctor's surgery there. Actually, have a look in the windows. I'm making it up, the doctor's surgery. But that could be a Chinese doctor's surgery from traditional times, couldn't it? Do you think they'd have spiders' webs in here? I think they might do. A Historical Chinese Residence Pack by a RyanCat. Oh, it's a residence, so it's not really a doctor's surgery, but we can pretend it is. Nice. Good work, RyanCat. Thank you so much for that. I'm just sorry it wasn't a non-snowfall map. It would have shown it off a lot better for you. Anyway, what do you think of today's map? Is it a 1-star map? Is it a 5-star map? Is it somewhere in between? Your vote really does count. We use it at the end of the month for the Viewers' Choice Top 10. Will this be one of the top 10 maps of the month? Only you can decide. Hit the I button now. It'll take you to the voting page where you can vote for free. But what do I think of today's map? Well, aesthetically, it's strong. It's strong. I think, again, we do lose some of the majesty of the map with it being snowfall. But then it brings a different sort of majesty. I'm going to give it 4 stars. I can't go for a high 4. I can't go for a high 4 because it's a little bit plain generally, but it's got enough there to bring it up, so I'm going to go low 4. Detailing. There are some very strong detailing areas, but I don't feel it really sings enough across the whole map to justify a 4th star. But there's no problems with the map at all. I'm going to go for a high 3. It's virtually there. It's virtually there. Gameplay potential. I think this is a very playable map. I do. I'm going to go for a middle 4. Doesn't quite sing 5 stars to me, but a middle 4 is still good. And despite not giving it 4 stars for detail, I still think I'm going to give it the seal of approval. It is a good Snowfall map. A playable Snowfall map that could have just had more stuff thrown into it. And I don't really feel that it needed more stuff thrown into it. But there was potential for more. I think certainly the repeated bridges drew my eye away on the detailing. If we had a variation of bridges there, and even if they were just vanilla, I think that would have actually added to today's map. Anyway, if you're still here, you're part of the 20 and out elites. Use the word of the day into the comments to score yourself some population points just for fun. And we'll be back tomorrow with another map in the What's Map series. Thanks very much for watching, and I'll see you very, very soon.